LA maternity leave as some sort of, oh my God, how could they do this to you? How could they do this to you? You're on maternity leave. You're trying to bond with your baby. You're trying to bond with your little daughter. Oh, how sweet. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Conservative Poet with me, Amania. Happy that you are here today. I'm just so glad to be recording a video. It has been a few days since I recorded. So happy Labor Day to you all. I did not touch the mic over the weekend. I spent some time doing some fun and relaxing things. So welcome again to the channel. Today we're going to have a conversation about Monique Worrell, who is the state attorney. Well, she used to be the state attorney. I don't think she's still the state attorney because I think Governor DeSantis gave her the hammer. Well, he gave her the off with your neck. Fired. He fired her. So we're going to talk about Monique Worrell and what happened with her, but we're going to do that through a video from our friend Roland Martin, who interviews some of the people on the scene in reference to Monique Worrell. And I just want to respond to that in the way that this thing is being portrayed, because everything is because they're black. It's a black, Monique Worrell is black, so therefore, you know, a black person, she can't do nothing wrong, you know, she can't do anything wrong. So she was fired. And of course it's because she's black, not because she wasn't doing her job. And then the other people involved also probably were black, and they weren't doing their job. If she wasn't doing her job, then I guess the rest of the staff wasn't doing their job, obviously. But Roland Martin is just going to pull as if this is all about race. You know those race hustlers, how they do. So if you're interested in seeing that video, then we're going to get into it right now. Okay, before we get into it, this is going to be up for a while. I want us to just take a minute and really look this over. Florida Governor DeSantis, suspension of black female prosecutor, seen as racist. Voter suppression tactic. Voter suppression, huh? Voter suppression. Here in Orange County. Voter suppression. Anyway, black conservative. You know, you see how they tag that on. Everything is about color. It's not a conservative or the attorney or whoever. Everything is about the black. Anyway, black conservative then fires her chief of staff while on maternity leave. If you're her number two and she's fired, wouldn't her number two be fired even if she's on maternity leave? You ain't got no job to go back to because she gone. Michael Imhotep and Roland Martin discussed. I don't know who that is, but any event, let's get into this.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis suspended State's Attorney Monique Worrell because he felt that she was not prosecuting folks enough. So what did he do?
Well, first of all, we're going to say it wasn't that he feels that she wasn't prosecuting folks enough. She wasn't prosecuting folks enough. And I'm going to video somewhere with the Osceola sheriff saying just that. Matter of fact, I made a video of Monique Worrell some months ago when a Spectrum News reporter and a 13-year-old girl and her mother were shot and killed by a criminal, a young man that Monique Worrell did not handle. And so he came out here and he shot and killed 3 people. So again, that's under her watch. And so the Osceola sheriff had a lot to say. He said, you know, we brought her people, we brought her criminals, and she would not prosecute. I believe he said he brought 71 or 74 and 0 was prosecuted. So it's not that Governor DeSantis dreamed this up. She wasn't doing her job.
He put in place a judge to be the state's attorney, an African-American judge. Well, he's come in and fired Worrell's top 2 deputies and literally walked them out the door when she was replaced. Now he's fired the chief of staff to Monique Worrell, which is absolutely crazy. She's been actually out on leave. Law enforcement literally.
Why is that literally crazy? If your boss no longer has a job, hence you're part of the administration, hence you ain't no longer have a job. It don't matter if you're on maternity leave or you're on death leave. It is what it is.
Visited her home. That's how she found out that she was fired. Joining us right now is Keisha Mulford, who was the former chief of staff to Monique Worrell. She joins us right now. Glad to have you here. So, I mean, this is absolutely crazy. So, you were not in the office when this took place a couple of days ago, correct?
That's correct. I've been out on FMLA since May 30th. I just had a...
You said FMLA. So,
yeah.
For folks who don't know what that is, explain that.
So I just had a baby, so the federal government allows me time to stay home with my child and, bond with my child and nurse my child. And while I was out, I was fired. And this is supposed to be a protected. Right.
My understanding, when you're on FMLA, they can't move against you. They can't fire you. So you literally were fired?
So deputies, armed law enforcement officers, deputies from the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Before we continue, I want to hear the way she explained it. Well, it's tough you could just say maternity leave. I've been on maternity leave. I am on maternity leave. People know what that means, but no, she's got to go into exact details about all of this. Why? To make people feel some sort of way about this, like that she's been taken advantage of. You're on maternity leave. I see these people. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with a woman this morning. I was out and there was a young lady with her new baby. I don't think this child was even a week old. Okay. And she was out here with this child out in the public. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I was talking to this older woman who knew exactly what I was saying. I remember after girls had their babies or after we had children, you couldn't leave the house for a month, through 2-3 months. Then you have to sit on the hot bucket of water to shrink up your stuff. These girls drop these babies and they're on the move. So I hear this one that, she's on maternity leave. She's got to bond with her baby. And I get all that. Of course, I get all that and I hear it, but it's the way she's presenting it that makes it seem like, they're really taking away something from her. And Monique Worrell has been under fire, not just recently. It's been like a month. And I remember seeing this person, when she was pregnant, about 2 or 3 months ago when I was at a town hall that Monique Worrell did. I think she was ready to drop at that time. I don't know how long it took for her to have the baby, but it's been some months. So again, they drop them and move on just like that. So she, and again, Monique has been under fire for the last month or so. So I'm sure they saw this coming, but they're going to use this maternity leave as some sort of, oh my God, how could they do this to you? How could they do this to you? You're on maternity leave. You're trying to bond with your baby. You're trying to bond with your little daughter. Oh, how sweet. Yeah.
Came to my home with armed investigators from our office, and they wanted me to give them passwords that they already had to social media and to provide them with access to social media. They wanted me to transfer. I created all of our social media pages, so they wanted me to give them my phone so they could transfer everything over. And they left a sheet of paper, and on the sheet of paper, that's how I found out I was terminated. No one verbally told me I was terminated. I found out with the document that they left at my home.
So Monique Worrell gets fired from her job, and she don't call her number 2, her chief of staff, to say, look, yeah, I know you've seen it on the news, but yeah, they've let me go, which probably means you've been let go too. They didn't have that conversation with your number 2, Monique. You ain't get that conversation with your number 2. Shocker.
So this Andrew Bain, he is the person DeSantis appointed. He made the decision to fire you.
That is correct. And so Andrew Bain.
You weren't called. Let's be clear. You weren't called. They left you a sheet of paper. They didn't even say. They didn't explain it to you. They just simply left a sheet of paper and you read it. That's how you found out.
Ryan Williams, the person who lost to State Attorney Monique Worrell in 2020, is his number 2. Ryan Williams called me on Wednesday requesting social media passwords. I asked Ryan if he were asking me to perform work duties while I was out on FMLA. I received an email about 45 minutes later from General Counsel.
Yo, this whole thing is like, if they want me to do work duties while I'm on MFLA. Yeah, they want me to do work duties. Is that what you want, Brian? You want me to do work duties while I'm on my MFLA? No, friend. You're getting ready to have the hammer. I keep saying hammer. I don't mean hammer. I mean the off with your neck.
Demanding I contact Ryan Williams by 9:00 a.m. Thursday morning. An attorney reached out to them to let them know, contact me. I will work everything out. No communication with my attorney. No communication with me. 4:00, I'm nursing my daughter, and they're at my home telling me to come outside.
Wait, I'm sorry. So first of all, how many law enforcement officers?
Damn it, this is
showed up at your
annoying.
home?
The way she ended that right there was like that awful dead silence was like, Roland has to pick it up, but he's not sure, and she's done. This whole thing reeks of something like some sort of setup conversation to me.
So there was a new public information officer, 2 sworn investigators from the office, and 2 armed deputies from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. So 4 law enforcement officials came to my home.
So 5 people in total came to your home. They come to your home and they ask you to step outside?
Well, they asked me to bring my phone so that they can go in my phone and switch over everything. So they're still operating under the guise as if I'm.
I love how they have this woman holding the baby, right there, like that. I find it interesting.
Still under FMLA, so they're like, if you can't do it, we will do it. This entire time, I had been terminated the day before.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is, it's not like they knocked on your door and they said, Miss Mulford, this is who we are. Can we please come in and talk with you? They didn't do that. No. They asked you to step outside. What happened? They treated you like.
They asked me to come to the door. So I was upstairs. And I was not going to come downstairs. I was nursing. So I was like, no, you need to contact my attorney. So they continued to ask me to come down.
Wow. So are they talking to you on the phone, on the ring? So how are they communicating with you?
So when they were communicating with a friend, and then I came down. When I came down, I just saw the 3 people from the office who I knew. And then following that, once I told them that they needed to reach out to my attorney if they desired anything from me, that's when the law enforcement officers from the sheriff's office came from around the corner. They were hiding. One of them being extremely antagonistic, telling me that an attorney doesn't matter. An attorney doesn't matter in this situation. I tell them I'm home with my 10-week-old daughter. He tells me that that doesn't excuse the fact that you need to give them their social media rights or property or whatever he said.
I can't.
I saw a post earlier today on social media showing that.
So she'd been out for 10 weeks. So for 2.5 months, right? She's been on maternity leave. I believe Monique Worrell has been out for about a month now. They didn't officially fire her until a few days ago. But I didn't make a video about it. I just had a lot going on. But yeah, so you've been out 2.5 months, 10 weeks, 2.5 months. Monique's been out for a month. Yeah, y'all saw this coming.
They have created a new website for the office, and they said the site was registered back in January.
So that was our website. I worked with our MIS team. That was the State Attorney Monique Worrell's website that we were going to roll out, and we had not had an opportunity to roll out. They've since gone in and they've made changes to that website. But that is a website that we were supposed to be moving to while we were still in office.
So just to be clear, so Monique Worrell beats this guy, Ryan Williams. My understanding, he came in fourth, and he's now the number 2 in charge. So he couldn't beat her, so he was lying in wait, and DeSantis has put the person who she beat in charge.
That is accurate information. Ryan Williams had about 9,000 votes in his third bid as running state attorney. Yes.
Let's talk about Andrew Bain. So he has canceled all of the diversionary programs that Worrell had in place. I saw a tweet from Nikki Barnes saying he actually campaigned and ran on those same programs for judge.
I went to law school at FAMU with Andrew Bain. To say this is disappointing is beyond me. Andrew Bain not only ran on that platform, there's records of it. There are records of him talking about the diversion programs. He also infiltrated the Black and Brown events, the Black and Brown community, so that we could support him. And with the emphasis that we only had one Black male on a bench. So despite, anything that we gave him, okay, he had his first go around, it was rough. So we were giving him another chance. He infiltrated these events. He said the correct words. He was trying to convince us that, he had changed and he was going to do right, and the community supported him. This is the same person who on April 1st was at my baby shower. He came to my baby shower and didn't even say, Keisha, I can't keep you because DeSantis doesn't want you or anything. This is someone who I've gone out with him, State Attorney Monique Worrell, we've done events with him, community events. Our Bring a Child to Work Day, we invite him in. We invited him to our office for several opportunities, and this is the man who betrayed us.
Wow. Have you talked to other staffers in the office who are...
I don't know. My head is spinning with all this information this woman just dropped. I remember the election. I'm glad to put a face to Andrew Bain because I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know anything about him except that I knew his names from the signs around town. But wow, sounds like everybody's one cushy place. And they don't seem to like that he's conservative. And she said that they gave him opportunities, that he was going to change his ways. Yeah, you're conservative. Unless you're a rhino, you're not changing any ways. This is who we are. This is how we think. And maybe I shouldn't say that because some Democrats do change their minds after they see the light. But in our case, we are the light. That's how I see it. I see conservatives as the light. I see us as the people who are really working to really make this society a better place. And Monique Worrell was letting these killers run loose up in these streets, killing people, talking about she wanted to have counseling instead of putting people in prison. Every day shootings are going up and up and up. And you're not locking them up. You're not prosecuting them. Look at what's happening in Chicago. Look at what's happening all over the country. Look at all of these places. And that's because they have woke prosecutors who have been bought and paid by George Soros. By the way, she is a George Soros recipient. Okay, so she's got that George Soros money backing her. So yeah, I'm really not. This conversation with this woman is I don't know. I feel like there's a lot going on here, and Roland Martin just seems to keep trying to push, and just trying to make it so much more than it actually is. Again, it's Black woman, female prosecutor, Black conservative, and so on. So again, they're pitting the Blacks against the Blacks here, again by a Black race hustler.
Still there? Are they afraid that they're going to get fired as well? Anybody who was supportive of Monique Worrell is going to be canned?
it seems that people are extremely afraid that they will be terminated. Yes.
Yeah, they need a whole new crew of people. They don't need the same old crew. So now when Biden gets in, he brings his whole new administration, right? You bring in your own people. They acting like this is news. They acting like they ain't never heard of if the prosecutor go, the rest of the people go too. We bring in our own people. You want them to keep you on? No. Give them a severance pay and say adios, amigos.
And wow. I don't know how it's going to happen. We already had a staffing shortage. I don't know how they do that and still protect the community, but it's going to be a problem that they're going to have to figure out.
The reason you all are being fired is because you haven't been protecting the community. I mean, come on. These people are making me insane. The reason why Monique is canned is because she hasn't been protecting the community. She hasn't been doing her job. That's why she's canned. I've seen her in 2 town halls in the last 3 months. One in the Pine Hills area where she had one of the sheriffs on there talking about how we need to enforce the laws and things like that. And then I saw her at another town hall with Maxwell Frost, the representative, and where she was saying again that she's really not trying to prosecute anybody. She wants to do healing sessions instead. Well, here's your healing session, lady. People are dropping dead through bullets out here. You're not prosecuting. You're not locking people up. You're not arresting people. You're not moving forward with these things. And your person here is talking about protecting the community. Protecting the community, my foot.
So what is next steps for you? I mean, obviously, do you plan to sue them? Again, everything that I know about Family Medical Leave Act, they can't terminate you when you're on Family Medical Leave Act.
So I'm going to let the legal team figure that out, see what my options are, and we're going to go from there.
And just like Monique Worrell, here you are with a 10-week-old baby, and now you have no source of income.
And no health insurance. My child hasn't even received all of her shots that she needs. So in this pro-life state.
So by being fired, your insurance is cut off immediately?
No, it will be gone within the next month and a half.
Unbelievable.
I lose it next month, and I haven't even finished with her shots or anything. I will lose it next month.
Ms. Mumford, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Keep us abreast of what happens next.
That whole conversation is just, there's something about it that I don't trust. And I really don't know if that they would just cut her off like that in a month after the kid. I just don't believe that. I don't know. That's something we'd have to look into, because if you're on maternity leave, I mean, I'm pretty sure she's going to get her full paid up. She's going to have whatever it is, her maternity leave, whenever she's supposed to be returned back, she'll be paid up until that time. After that, I don't know how that all would work. But as she says, she's about to sue. She got a lawyer. Do we want to see what this panel have to say? Let's see.
My panel today, Michael Imhotep, host the African History Network show. He's out of Detroit. Matt Manning, civil rights attorney out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Teresa Lundy, principal founder of TML Communications out of Philadelphia. Matt, I got to start with you. I mean, this shows you the vindictiveness, the pettiness, how shameful and disgraceful Governor Ron DeSantis is. And they've been plotting this. Worrell was elected by nearly 67% of the vote. She crushed all of her opponents. And he says, oh, this is to protect Central Floridians. They voted for her. And then you fire her top 2 deputies and you fire her chief of staff who's on Family Medical Leave Act. That's an automatic lawsuit.
Yeah, it's to me, it's insane that they went that route, number one. And it's also insane that the state of Florida has the power vested in the governor to undo elections. As I've mentioned on the show before, I'm representing our local DA in a very similar situation where under Texas law, he's facing a lawsuit to be removed. He's a part of a group of progressive prosecutors across the country who have come in with diversionary programs and other things intended to make life better for citizens. Irrespective of all of that, the idea that a governor can not like what you're doing, can castigate you, and then just remove you from duly elected office should terrify all of us, because democracy and federalism beyond democracy is important to have a check on unchecked power, i.e. Ron DeSantis. So the idea that in Florida you can just dislike somebody, you can come up with, aspersions about their data, you can lie about it, then you can remove.
Governor DeSantis is not lying about anything. This woman hasn't done her job. Okay, she's supposed to be prosecuting, and she has not prosecuted. That's her job. And she's told you in public form that doing that is not on her agenda. What she wants to do is have meetings and counseling with these criminals. They say, oh, you want to have meetings and counseling? Guess what, woman? We're going to continue to be shooting up your city. We're going to continue to be killing people out here in these streets. We had a shooting just the other day. I mean, there's a shooting every day out here. Why? Because you're not prosecuting these criminals. And before you know it, we're looking like Chicago. No, we're not. We can't have woke mayors, woke prosecutors, and so on. Before you know it, we will be looking like Chicago with these things. Anyway, we're going to move on from this.
Move them, and they don't have any real recourse, nor do the voters, is a huge problem. Because when you're dictatorial, like Ron DeSantis is, and when you're trying to vie for maybe a vice presidency now because your presidential bid is obviously in the trash can, then it becomes obvious that you'll take whatever measure you can to advance your policy. And that's really what should be the scariest part of this. Now, Ms. Mulford and all of the people who are, collateral damage to that, I feel for greatly, and I hope she's victorious in her lawsuit, and I anticipate they didn't think through how to attack this with her discrete employment issue. But the larger conversation is, how do you have it where people are casting votes in an election and one person can decide they don't like the victor of that election and remove him or her?
Right.
That really does not bode well for democracy.
Teresa, look, they could show up and they can say, hey, we know you're on Family Medical Leave Act. We need the passwords, things along those lines. All right. You know what? The law is the law. Bain is now taking over. You can do that. But to hand her a letter saying she's fired, I mean, this is basic law. You don't do that to somebody who's on FMLA. And how in the hell do you call yourself pro-lifers when you got a black woman who just had a baby, 10 weeks old, and you fire her, no health care, she's going to lose that. I mean, these people are evil.
Governor DeSantis is staying on message. We have seen the same unfortunate tactics, and it's just gotten worse. Monique is a friend, and, I'm definitely praying for this situation. But also the real understanding here is that we have a governor who is basically telling the public that I am willing to do whatever. in order to get to the next point in public office. We all know, Mike Pence decided he wasn't going to overturn an election, and Ron DeSantis basically proved to his base, his fundraising base, that this is one of the things he is going to do. As governor, he's showing you what he's going to do as president. He has a failing campaign. He has a failing, governorship. And so, unfortunately, the people that are being, prosecuted in this process is the ones that are actually doing the work, is the real change agents. And so I'm not really surprised, but it is unfortunate. And I think, to my brother's point, it is, a smack in democracy. As we, talk about week after week, month after month, year after year, about how important elections are. This has been not only a wake-up call only in Florida. These individuals have been trying to do the same thing with the same progressive district attorney, DA that we have in Philadelphia, over, into the Supreme Court. But because elections matter and we have a Democratic governor that is focused on making sure that the rights of people are not only protected, but also, keep us safe, here in this country. So, again,
Shut up. Philadelphia. Crime is so bad in Philadelphia. People are packing up and running away. Why? Because of progressive state attorneys. That's why, like Monique Worrell. That's why the governor has to protect the people. Really? Well, that's what this governor is doing, because we're not going to turn into Philadelphia. We're not going to turn into Baltimore. We're not going to turn into New York City. We're not going to turn into these progressive states. So yeah, he's going to fire those who don't do their job. And Monique Worrell was not doing her job. And so therefore firing her is not a huge deal. So we're going to wrap this up.
Monique is dealing with an uphill battle, but I'm also very happy that, Ron DeSantis is doing exactly what Ron DeSantis do. And the reason why I say that is because as we look at a holistic approach of how do we get these insane politicians out who are only looking for greed and power in areas that affect people of color and affect the entire minority, we already see the issue at hand that needs to be changed.
Mike, I want to go back to one of the points that Matt was making here, and that is one person decides, I don't like your policies, you're out. Georgia also, Republicans there passed a law trying to allow them to do the exact same thing. This is what Republicans do. They don't believe all this crap about big government, big brother. No, they only care about that when they are not in charge. And so for him to sit here and to say, well, she wasn't following the law, she has the discretion to determine what she prosecutes. Voters chose that. He's saying, the hell with you voters, I'm the one who decides what happens in this state. This is beyond shameful.
Yeah, Roland, is beyond.
You know what bothers me out of all of this is the people, the community that's losing people daily because she is not prosecuting them. That little girl who lost her life a few months ago, that news reporter, Spectrum News reporter, who lost his life because he was out there in the hood covering the story. What about those people whose family are dying every single day because of her not prosecuting, of her not doing her job, because of her not doing these things? People are out here running loose like it's the wild, wild west, shooting up people. How is it that they're not talking about that? How is it that they're not talking about every time I drive around town, I see many grave sites, many candle setups for people who's been shot and killed out here? Why aren't they talking about that? No, they want to talk about the woman who failed to protect her community. They're not talking about that. They're talking about Governor DeSantis taking away her power and her job. But what about the people that she has failed for the years that she was put in through George Soros' money? What about those people? What about them? Do their lives not matter? Do those black lives not matter? Do the lives not matter, Monique Worrell? Those people who's been killed by the hands of other blacks in your community under your watch, do their lives not matter?
Beyond shameful, but it's even worse because Andrew Bain is a member of the Federalist Society. So once I found that out, everything else pretty much fell in the law. He's an African-American man, but he's a member of the Federalist Society. So he is aiding and abetting this takeover that Governor Ron DeSantis is doing. This is straight out of white supremacy. And it's not surprising coming from Ron DeSantis. The Andrew Gillum tried to warn us in 2018. Okay, unfortunately, not a lot of people listened in Florida to stop Governor DeSantis when Andrew Gillum said, I'm not saying he's a racist, I'm saying the racists believe he's a racist. So
I can't believe this fool. What is the idiot is this? This fool is bringing up Andrew Gillum. Do you really want to bring Gillum into this, friend? Do you really want to have Gillum in this conversation? Jesus.
She definitely has a lawsuit here. It sounds like a definite violation of the Family Medical Leave Act, Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA.
That's going to be it for the video. I think there's more that's going to come out of this whole thing. I really just wanted to take a minute and go over that. And I will make another video at some point because I do have live footage that's now never been seen from when I was in the room a couple of months ago when Monique Worrell did her town hall. So I have raw footage that I haven't even attempted to post. So I think what I'm going to do is work on that and collect and put that video together so we can really talk about her and the kind of shitty job she did. And that's why she got fired. And so I'm actually glad, even though Governor DeSantis is busy doing other things, I'm glad that he got this business done. And I'm glad that he put somebody in charge who's going to get business done, because we deserve that. We need that. Again, shootings are out of control out here. Criminals are running around free. They just want to let these criminals out. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. And so I'm glad that Governor DeSantis has done something great within these last couple of weeks. I know he's been under fire. There's been a lot going on for him, but I'm glad he was able to get this done and was able to put somebody strong and capable to handle this. So thank you all for taking the time and sharing this time with me. I will again be posting a video in detail and with raw footage from Monique Worrell and some news clippings about the shitty job that she's done. So I thank you all so much. You guys take care. God bless. And I'll see you in the next video.